A vigil was held last night as the Madison, Wisconsin community continues to grieve. The private Christian school where a 15-year-old girl opened fire Monday is considering new security measures, including adding a resource officer in the new year. 2 people were killed in the shooting, including a teacher and a teenage student. The shooter died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. 6 others are hurt, too, with life-threatening injuries. We now know it was a 2nd grade teacher who called 911 to report the shooting. Investigators have identified Natalie Rupnow, who went by Samantha, as the shooter. The weapon that was used was a handgun and was recovered at the scene. It's still not clear how she got it. Anna Schecter joins us now in Studio 57. She's the senior coordinating producer for our CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. Anna, what is the most challenging part in trying to trace that gun and figure out how she got it?
Well, the ATF has already done its tracing, so you can figure out that initial sale from the manufacturer. But in Wisconsin, gun laws are pretty loose. So if it changed hands, it's actually hard to figure that out. Investigators are looking at her family members, other adults that were around her. Did she obtain the gun from them? That is like a top question that investigators are asking. Court records that we've seen show that she was living mostly with her father in the last couple of years. So obviously they're spending a lot of time interviewing him.
The Washington Post has some new reporting that she had a turbulent family life. What can you tell us about that?
Well, we have these divorce documents, divorce proceeding documents that also talk about a custody agreement between the parents. And so in the most recent one, she was moving back and forth every couple of days. So kind of a lot of upheaval. It's an interesting history profile. The parents married when she was 2 years old in 2011. They divorced a few years later, remarried in 2017, and again divorced in 2020. So the Post sort of lays out this potentially turbulent home, but a lot of people grow up in homes with divorced parents or, turbulent family life, and they don't commit something like this. I think what investigators are looking at now is her online activity. They are scouring her social media, sort of the deep, dark places on the internet that may have influenced her in these last preceding years.
The Madison police chief said that they believe no one was targeted, and they believe essentially everyone was targeted. What evidence do they have to support that?
Well, it's a great question. What they have is the scene of the crime. She walked in and opened fire, killing what we believe is a substitute teacher and a teenage student. At this time, we're still waiting on the demographics of this. So I think what the police chief is saying is it didn't appear that she was motivated by race based on the evidence that they have right now. But that could change. This investigation is ongoing, and we're still pretty early on.
I want to ask you one more question, because at this point, so many days removed from the shooting, I know that a press conference yesterday with reporters got very heated because there have not really been any identities other than the suspected shooter released. Is that unusual in a situation like this to still not have demographics and names of victims?
Generally, by now, we would start to have the names of victims once the authorities notify the families of those deceased and those injured. Then they tell the press and the public their names. My understanding is that the school has wanted to keep things private. This is a very small, tight-knit community, and so that might be factoring in here, but it is relatively unusual for us to not have any names.
Okay. Anna Schecter, thank you.